Will Smith. More than a superstar, a man shaped by pain and resilience. From Independence Day to The Pursuit of Happyness, Will Smith's charm and talent made him Hollywood royalty. But behind the fame was a childhood scarred by trauma. At 9, he witnessed his father strike his mother, a moment that haunted him for life. Using humor and music as shields, Will rose from a turbulent home in Philadelphia to become DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, bringing rap to mainstream America. Yet, despite early success and a Grammy, critics and peers questioned his authenticity. Fame brought wealth, but also a harsh fall. Millions lost to taxes, leaving him broke. Then came a life-changing moment. A raw, unscripted audition for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air sparked a new chapter. Will transformed from near ruin to TV icon, then global movie star with hits like Bad Boys and Men in Black. But beneath the blockbuster smile was a man fighting loneliness and the pressure to be perfect. Roles like Muhammad Ali and Chris Gardner weren't just parts. They were battles with his past and a quest for healing. Will's story is not just fame and fortune, but struggle, survival, and second chances. He faced regrets, missed roles, and inner demons, yet kept rising. If you see Will as more than a legend, like a man who turned scars into strength, tap like and honor his journey. Will Smith's journey is one of triumph and torment. After winning the Oscar for King Richard, a role echoing his own struggles as a fiercely protective father, he reached the peak of his career. But on that same night, his legacy was shaken when he struck Chris Rock during the ceremony, a moment that overshadowed years of respect and brought public shame. Haunted by regret, Will faced his fall with raw honesty, repeatedly apologizing as he wrestled with the weight of that night. His story became a powerful lesson in how quickly greatness can fracture and the importance of self-control. Behind the fame and fortune was a man shaped by love and loss. At the height of Fresh Prince fame, he married Cherie Zampino and welcomed their son, Trey, a moment Will called his greatest victory. But the demands of stardom pulled him away, leading to divorce and deep personal pain. The heartbreak of breaking the cycle of his own childhood scars was a wound he never forgot. Will's life reminds us that behind every legend is a human, wrestling with regrets, love, and the quest for redemption. What shattered in 1995 was more than a marriage. It was the illusion that success could shield from sorrow. Will's divorce from Cherie Zampino marked a painful break, especially the growing distance from his son Trey. The boy who once clung to him slipped away, leaving Will to face the harsh truth. No fame or fortune could replace a father's love. Slowly, through presence and patience, they began to rebuild, teaching Will that legacy is measured not in awards, but in hearts healed. Years later, Will found new hope with Jada Pinkett. Together, they built a family filled with love, laughter, and the promise of a fresh start. Yet beneath the Hollywood spotlight, their marriage faced its own struggles. Rumors, separation, and the challenge of balancing freedom with commitment. Their story wasn't a fairy tale, but a raw, honest journey of two strong people wrestling with love, pain, and public scrutiny. Their children, Willow and Jaden, felt the weight too, seeking identity and peace amid the chaos. Will and Jada showed us that love demands not just honesty, but compassion, that even the strongest bonds need care to survive. Their story is a mirror reflecting the complexities of love, family, and the hard truths behind fame's dazzling glow. Yet, through every storm, a bond remained. Will calls Jada his life partner, a phrase that bends tradition but reveals resilience few imagine. They never disguised their fractures. Instead, they let the world see them raw, imperfect, human. In doing so, they became less an image to idolize and more a mirror, proof that even the most dazzling marriages can be fragile, complicated, unfinished works in progress. For Will, the paradox of Jada is inescapable. She is the love that lifts him and the wound that humbles him, the sanctuary that shelters and the battlefield that scars. To stand with her has been both triumph and trial, strength and surrender. Perhaps that is where the truth of love lies, not in perfection but persistence. Not in a life without pain, but in the choice to keep walking even when the path cuts deep. This second marriage did not grant Will the fairy tale he once dreamed of. It gave him something harsher, rawer, but perhaps more real, a companion whose presence has shaped both his greatness and his grief, whose love has broken and remade him in equal measure. It was this very love, fierce and complicated, that bled into the night of the Oscars in 2022, when devotion, frustration, and unhealed wounds converged in a single act under the brightest lights. Their story is not just about two people. It is about how love, with all its contradictions, can build and undo us, crown and wound us, often in the very same breath. There is no script for the moment you learn your father, the source of both your scars and your strength, has only months left to live. In 2016, Will was forced to face a truth more devastating than any headline. His father, Willard Carroll Smith Sr., had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. Doctors said only months remained. For Will, the news echoed unfinished history. This was the man who taught him discipline, work ethic, and resilience, but also the man whose violent outbursts scarred his childhood, leaving guilt and fear he carried for decades. Love and resentment had always lived side by side in their relationship, two forces never reconciled. Now, with time running out, Will faced the impossible question: how do you say goodbye to someone who is both your foundation and your wound? In those final months, Will often sat by his father's bedside. The power dynamic had shifted. No longer the terrified boy who froze in silence, he was a grown man, determined to find peace. Quiet conversations unfolded about life, regrets, and the strange ways love and pain always walked together in their family. Will Smith said forgiveness isn't erasing the past, but choosing what to carry forward. When his father died, he let go of anger and held on to gratitude, finding healing in grief. True freedom, he realized, lies in forgiveness. A routine colonoscopy revealed a precancerous polyp, forcing Will to confront his fragility beyond his Fresh Prince image. This wake-up call reshaped his view of health, focused on survival, discipline, and gratitude. In his YouTube series, Best Shape of My Life, and memoir, Will, he revealed raw vulnerability, showing real strength in carrying scars with grace. Now, living quietly, Will measures success in balance and resilience, with family wounds healed and legacy carried by his children. After the Oscar scandal, his comeback was steady and humble, proving recovery is a daily act of courage. Will Smith is no longer just a star. He's a man who's faced fear, failure, and frailty and risen anyway. True greatness is living with scars, not without them. If his journey inspires you, like and share to honor the man beyond the legend. If you love Hollywood gossip, celebrity news, and all things star-studded, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Also, drop a comment below